إنها, the hadith that have that wording in it, whom we are not, or what is not in keeping with our core values. And then talk a little bit, and then the series after I want to focus a little bit on ظلم, and talking about oppression. I think it's something that I think this is a core Islamic. It is not. I don't think it's a core Islamic value in terms of the opposite, obviously not oppression, but anti-oppression, injustice or righteousness. And as Muslims, we sometimes we get caught up on other stuff when they're not even remotely as important, or not even the same realm of talking about this. So I'm going to get through this series because I started it and I want to complete the 10 hadith that I wanted to narrate to you. So I'll do that inshallah ta'ala. Interestingly enough, the hadith tonight is also something that is relevant to the current events that we're witnessing in the Holy Land. Where he says عليه الصلاة والسلام قال إنه سيكون بعدي أمراء يكذبون ويظلمون. He said, after my passing, there will be umara as in rulers. Not princes specifically, but rulers. But he also used the word because he knew at some point it was going to turn back into a monarchy, even though that's not what he wanted it to be. So he used that term, and I think that term is very meaningful in that sense. And he kind of pointed out that really what's going to happen is that we're going to go from shura and people actually choosing rulers and holding them accountable to the way it was in Jahiliyyah, and that's unfortunate. But he said, they're going to be after me rulers who lie and oppress. قال فمن صدقهم فمن دخل عليهم فصدقهم في كذبهم وأعانهم على ظلمهم فليس مني ولست منه وليس بوارد علي الحوض. He says, those who enter upon them, they go into them and become a part of what they're doing. They believe them in their lies and they help them with their oppression. Then I am not amongst them, from them, and they're not from me. He actually uses the term a little bit more complex, in a bit more complex manner. Instead of just saying ليس مني, he says فليس مني ولست منه, and he uses it personally. He says it about himself. It's like I'm not. And it's as if he's disowning them. Like I have nothing to do with that person, and they have nothing to do with me. وليس بوارد علي الحوض, and they will not come and get anything from me and from my basin on the judgment. I mean, they're amongst the people who are going to be picked up and removed. قال ومن لم يدخل عليهم ولم يصدقهم في كذبهم ولم يعنهم على ظلمهم فهو مني وأنا منه وهو وارد علي الحوض. Then he said the opposite. And those of you who do not enter upon them or become a part of their regime or what they do, and you do not believe their lies nor support their oppression, then I'm amongst them and they're from amongst me. Meaning he's connecting himself, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to those people, and they will come and drink from my hand from the basin on the day of judgment. And this is a very powerful hadith in the meaning of what is of these days. And a lot of what you see in the world occurs because of the corruption of politicians. It's become such an issue of we've accepted it all. Not almost. As a human race, we've accepted it. We expect nothing less. Of course they're corrupt. We don't even hope for anything different. Actually, if someone acts like they're not corrupt, we start questioning. No, what's the catch? There has to be a catch. But you're honest? Of course you're not honest. You actually care? No, you don't care. Why are you doing this? It's impossible for us to believe because of the history of corruption all across throughout the world and throughout our lifetime. And it's very difficult. Like religiously, it's a hard topic to talk about. Obviously, politics and religion, they don't mix as well as they used to or they should, and it causes a lot of problems. But politics all over the world is always a controversial topic. But for us to come to a point in our history as a human race where it's just assumed that all politicians are just full of it, and there's no hope in them doing anything that's helpful, and the only way they'll do something that's helpful is if they are under an immense amount of pressure to do it, but really righteousness and falsehood has nothing to do with why they'll do something or not do something. That says something about where we are and what we're doing, and maybe we shouldn't be okay with this status quo, and maybe we should actually start questioning things at their basis a little bit more, because that's just not a very positive world to leave your to leave our children, or to bring children in, saying that those who are governing are all they just care about what's popular, what will get them the vote, and what will keep them in power, and everything else is just background noise that they don't care for. When really the determining factor in every decision has to be what is haqq and what is batil, what is righteous, what is justice, what is correct, what is the opposite. And when you it's just high. I guess this is just an issue of just a rant. Every time these things happen, and one of the leaders of the country that you're a part of goes ahead and shows unwavering support for the. It's just like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? Like, what are you? Who voted this person? Why is this okay? Like, why is that just? Why is that? Look, I come from a generation where, if I say the word politics, I look over my shoulder. I was raised, like he's right here. I was raised, do not speak about politics. Keep your mouth shut. Just walk, just do your thing. Don't get involved. That's how I was raised. I can't shake that off. I honestly can't. I've been here for 10 years. I'm not going to shake it off. Teaching an old dog new tricks, not going to happen. I'm never going to become someone who's involved politically. So we're at a disadvantage when you have imams like that. Honestly, you are. Because we don't know how to get involved politically. But because I accept that, I'm like, of course, thanks for giving us Kul Aam wa Antum Bikhair and Eid Adha Mubarak and all that stuff. But I know that's what he's going to say. I accept it. I don't even talk about it anymore. Like, I don't even expect anything. I don't expect anything more than it. I have no expectations of this person or anyone else, by the way, running for government, aside from being a complete sellout for something that is completely wrong because of the fact that they get a lot of money from them and they're scared. So I accept that. I don't think we should be accepting that. I don't think so. I think there should be an alternative to it, but we do. So how do you change that? How do you change these expectations? How do you change the outcome? I think that's where we have to discuss a little bit more, especially as Muslims living in the West, to justify what we're doing here for the sake of those who are oppressed, those who are living under oppression and continue. It's not just the Palestinian problem. It actually goes beyond that. It goes to every act of injustice that occurred and it continues to occur all across the globe, that as Muslims we fundamentally stand against. We refuse oppression, regardless of who's oppressed, regardless of who's oppressing. It doesn't matter. We refuse it. It doesn't make a difference. Really, that act alone is very black and white to us. It's very clear. And the Prophet ﷺ in this hadith is basically saying that if you enter into a realm where the person is an oppressor and you believe it or help it or is a part of it, you are not amongst me. You're not a part of my group, and I have nothing to do with you. And don't even come to my base in Yawm al-Qiyamah. You understand how hard that is? That's very harsh. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. But he's very clear on that. And then he says the opposite, so that it's clear. And if you are capable of not doing that, then you stay away. You're not a part of it. You don't believe it. You don't support it. Then ahlan wa sahlan. Then you and I are, because that's what he represented, alayhi salatu wasalam. And I think we've lost that compass a little bit, and that compass. And I don't know exactly how to retrieve it again, but at least if we have those conversations maybe and talk about it more, and especially the next generation that's growing up, if they talk about it more, hopefully they can do more than mine did. يروي الإمام أحمد في مسنده بسند حسن عن عبد الله بن عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنهما قال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إنه سيكون بعدي أمراء يظلمون ويكذبون فمن دخل عليهم فصدقهم في كذبهم وأعانهم على ظلمهم فليس مني ولست منه وليس بوارد علي الحوض ومن لم يدخل عليهم ولم يصدقهم في كذبهم ولم يعنهم على ظلمهم فهو مني وأنا منه وهو وارد علي الحوض. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. سبحانك والحمد لله لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وإليك وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم.